Well, the government's efforts to the north parts of the country that are banditry prone continue to gather momentum. This as political leaders from the areas support that move. Good evening. This is TV47 News Tonight, this 20th day of February 2023. We have a lot lined up for you, including tonight, leaders from Tiaty in Baringo County have expressed their support for the government's decision to launch a joint security operation involving the police and the Kenya Defence Forces in the area.
Ninaunga mkono. Lazima hawa majangili ambao wanasumbua watu warudishe kwenye mkono wa sheria.
The fate of embattled IEBC Commissioner Irene Masit now lies with the Agri-Muchelule-led tribunal.
If there was any blameworthiness on the events of August 15, then Marjan, Gulie, Molu, and Chebukati cannot be saints. You are being invited to separate the commissioners from Irene Masit.
The tribunal has retired to deliberate and make appropriate recommendations to President William Ruto after completing its hearings today. And tonight we shed more light on the challenges that women face in pursuing science studies and why many women are not attracted to the field.
We find that the boys already know it, so it's a challenge, like it's only based on boys.
Well, good evening. Once again, my name is Eric Munene. Our sign language interpreter is Catherine Simaloi. News Tonight begins now. Residents of Matwiku village in Laikipia County are calling on the government to beef up security in the area. According to the residents, illegal herders continue to be a nightmare despite the ongoing joint security operation in the area. This, even as leaders from Tiaty in Baringo County welcome the move by the government to launch a joint police and KDF security operation in the area. Zainab Mohammed kickstarts this bulletin tonight.
In Tiaty area, Baringo County, the security situation remains tense as security officers engage bandits in a joint police and military operation, with local leaders expressing their approval of the government's decision to initiate the joint operation. The leaders have also urged the residents to surrender their firearms to the appropriate authorities, hoping to secure the area, which has become a hotspot for banditry attacks.
Ninaunga rais mkono. Lazima hawa majangili ambao wanasumbua watu warudishe kwenye mkono wa sheria. Tutaki mambo ya ujangili tena katika eneo hili. Hata kwa majirani. Kama wewe ni jangili Mtugen, kama wewe ni jangili Marakwet, kama wewe ni jangili Samburu, kama wewe ni jangili Turkana, ama Mpokot, ama jangili ya aina yoyote yule. Jangili hana kabila. Tunataka hawa majangili wote warudishe kwenye mkono wa serikali. Na ukiwa na bunduki ya haramu, rudishe kwa serikali mara moja.
Meanwhile, Kapenguria Member of Parliament Samuel Moroto has issued a warning to Kenyans to be cautious about fake news on social media concerning the area. According to Moroto, some of the videos that are being shared on various platforms are either old or doctored. The legislator has urged Kenyans to verify the authenticity of any information they come across before sharing it on social media, as it will help prevent panic and unnecessary tension in the region, which is already grappling with security challenges.
Wawe pia wakitembea. Unajua wengine wanaangalia mambo ya social media, kama nimeona ile vitu ambayo inatupa. Kuna mtu alikufa sijui ngapi huko nyuma. Wanaonyesha leo picha yako na punduki. Ati alipigwa jana. Na ni mtu amekauka hata sijata mafupa yake yamekwisha ionekane. Hii social media ndio inataka kuharibia watu namna. Kama kuna jambo tunajua. Tunasema tupole ile wale ile wenye liua ng'ombe na wale askari yetu ndio tunajua hiyo, that is the reason one. Haina vingine mtu analeta ingine kutoka sijui wapi. Mara wanasema huko Kakongi meumana, ukisikiza mlevi sangina anapita njia yake wakati ananguruma, watu nasema imeanza.
Finally, residents of Matwiku village in Laikipia County have that illegal herders can be heard grazing their animals through people's properties all night, causing destruction in their wake. This is happening despite the imposition of a dusk to dawn curfew in the area.
Tumeadhiriwa sana kabisa kwa sababu leo zimelala kwangu shambani, zimekula na tumejaribu kuzipiga na mawe mpaka zikatoka. Hata wakiwa na tumesema leo kama ni kukufa tukufe. Tuliamuka kuchukua mawe nje tukatupa shamba na mzee wangu tukatupa mpaka ikaondoka. Tukasema kama ni kuuawa tuuawe sababu tutaiangalia tu ikimalizia. Sababu sasa ikikula hiyo tuboga tutakula ugali na maji.
Nataka kuhimiza serikali ifanye hivi. Kuna nchi jirani yetu inafanya hivi. Illegal grazers ng'ombe zao zote zinashikwa na serikali inauza ina compensate wakulima. Kwa hivyo hizo ng'ombe zote zishikwe kwa sababu wanasema they are tagged. Kuki amekodesha hawa illegal grazers zimetagiwa na zile sasa tumeshika ng'ombe 7 haziko na tag, zinaenda wapi? Tunajua hizi ng'ombe watu wengine wakubwa wa serikali hizi ni zao.
The Law Society of Kenya issued a 3-day ultimatum to the government to repeal a Gazette notice ordering the deployment of KDF to the banditry-prone zones in the country. According to LSK, the government has breached the constitution by not seeking the approval of parliament to send military to the region. The notice lapses on Tuesday. Zainab Mohammed, T47.
Well, thank you, Zainab Mohammed, for that. Now, the fate of embattled IEBC Commissioner Irene Masit now lies with the Irene Muchelule-led tribunal, which has retired to deliberate and make appropriate recommendations to President William Ruto after completing its hearings today. Masit was facing the tribunal over petitions seeking her removal on grounds of violation of the Constitution and gross misconduct. Moigi William with that report.
Irene Muchelule, I'm chairing this tribunal.
The Justice Irene Muchelule-led tribunal, which is tasked with determining the suitability of Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission IEBC Commissioner Irene Masit to hold office, has concluded its hearing.
Thank you, learned counsel.
The 5-member tribunal will now shift its focus to making recommendation on Masit's suitability for the role. After concluding their hearings on Monday, Justice Irene Muchelule and his 5-member tribunal will now retire to deliberate and make recommendations regarding Commissioner Irene Masit's suitability to hold office at the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission. Although no tentative date was given for when the report will be ready, Muchelule stated that they will make appropriate recommendations to the President as required by the Constitution.
We'll retire as of this tribunal to consider the evidence that was before us, tendered before us, consider the submissions, consider the law, and consider the Constitution, and find out what kind of recommendation we will give to the appointing authority.
Commissioner Irene Masit made her final submissions to the tribunal through her lawyer Donald Kipkorir, aiming to prove her innocence to the accusations against her by the petitioners. Masit argued that there was no evidence presented before the tribunal to illustrate her culpability and gross misconduct in last year's presidential elections.
So if there was any blameworthiness on the events of August 15, then Marjan, Gulie, Molu, and Chebukati cannot be saints. You're being invited to separate the commissioners from Irene Masit. My Lord, I have said that. I leave it to you.
Further, Masit submitted before Muchelule and team that the petition before the tribunal was not based on any Kenyan law.
No evidence was shown whatsoever. No evidence was presented before you to show such conspiracy between Cherera 4 amongst themselves, or Cherera 4 and the Azimio leadership, whatever, if it was Azimio they are referring to.
Peter Munge, the tribunal lead counsel, urged the tribunal to find Masit not suitable to be a commissioner of the poll body, calling for her removal from office. Further, Munge submitted that even though the other 3 commissioners opted to resign, there is a need to ensure that there is no recurrence of what happened in the August 2022 presidential poll.
This case, Commissioner Irene Masit was called out by her colleagues, commissioners and chair. Has since found her out, and she opted not to challenge that. We submit The proper recommendation is for her removal.
The Tribunal Council noted they had proved beyond reasonable doubt that there was a serious violation of the law by Masit. Parliament had recommended the removal of the Cherera-led faction from office after passing the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee report. Commissioners Juliana Cherera, then the vice chairperson of the commission, Francis Wanderi, and Justus Nyang'aya resigned pending the tribunal's proceeding, while Irene Masit opted to stay put. Moige William, TV 47, Nairobi.
Now moving on, the differences between the ward representatives and the governor of Meru, Kawira Mwangaza, have now appeared to be over after all parties decided to work together after a long tug of war. Meru Governor Kawira Mwangaza has warmly embraced the members of the county assembly as the two warring parties finally ceased fire following months of supremacy battles. The governor today attended reconciliatory talks, which was spearheaded by the woman representative of the county, that is Elizabeth Kailemia, and she later made her way to the county assembly. They do understand that that report is being prepared right now. I beg your pardon. Moving on now, if the second progress report of the Presidential Working Party on Education reforms will be accepted and implemented, then the government-sponsored students in universities will have to dig deeper into their pockets to pay for school fees. One of the recommendations in the report is to adjust the school fees upwards from 16,000 shillings to 52,000 shillings. Have a look.
Since 1989, school fees for government-sponsored students in universities has been constant. Students have been paying 16,000 shillings, but now there is a proposal to adjust the amount upwards to a minimum of between 48,000 and 52,000 shillings. The debate of fee increment did not start now. In 2020, the Vice-Chancellor's Committee proposed the same, saying it was the only way that would help public universities remain afloat amid the financial crisis they are facing.
Because we have been struggling, saying we are funding, and yet we find we are not able to fund each and every one. So that is one area that we are also thinking about, how we can be able to come up with a system which is workable, a system that will be sustainable, will be permanent, so that our universities are able to be financially stable.
Pending bills for public universities as at June 2022 remained at 56 billion shillings, and one of the recommendations in the report prepared by the Presidential Working Party on education reforms is for the government to provide universities with a bailout package for pension, CBA and salary arrears that are pending. Stakeholders in the education sector also want the penalties and interests on payee arrears to be waived. On Thursday this week, top officials of universities and from the Ministry of Education will meet in Mombasa to discuss issues that are threatening to paralyze the institutions of higher learning. Part of the agenda of the two-day conference will be on funding issues of both public and private universities through enhancing strategic partnerships and exploring effective resource mobilization techniques. The theme for the event is Universities for a Sustainable Future. Sharon Baranga, TV 47.
Now back to that story about Kawira Mwangaza, the Meru governor's differences with the members of the county assembly. Now the differences between the ward representatives and the governor of Meru, that is Kawira Mwangaza, have now appeared to be over after all parties decided to work together after a long tug of war. Have a look.
Kwa sisi kama viongozi. Kwa hivyo tumeamua ya kwamba maendeleo ya Meru na kazi hapa Meru ni kabati. Hakuna kupumzika tena, tunaenda kazi na tumeweka yaliyopita yote kando, tukaamua ya kwamba tunaenda kufanyia watu wa Meru kazi, na kwa watu wa Meru ambao wanatuona na kutusikiza. We have agreed that what is available for us, that is the 10 million that is there in the budget, to utilize kama waheshimiwa, tuingie mashinani kuanzia kesho.
Tuweke hayo maneno yote ambayo alikuwa anasumbua, tuwachane nayo kutoka leo, na tukamua kushikana na kuelewana kabisa, ndio tuweze kufanyia wa Meru kazi Na sisi kama bunge letu la Meru tumeambia gavana wetu kwamba sisi tuko tayari, yale ambayo yote yanahitajika kufanywa na bunge, wale mawaziri ambao hatukupitisha, wale chief officers ambao hawakuweza kupita kuletwa katika bunge letu, supplementary budget na mambo yote ambayo yanahitajika sisi tufanye kama bunge, tuko tayari hata kama ni kuanzia kesho ndio tuweze kufanya make sure that Merians do receive their services that they do need so much.
I also want to thank our dear governor, Her Excellency Kawira Mwangaze. She has been very good. She has been very cooperative, and I'm happy that she's happy now because we have all agreed to work with her. May it be the county assembly, even the National Assembly. I'm representing the National Assembly, and they are very happy. They have agreed with the...
From politics back to matters education. A big number of grade 7 and Form 1 learners is yet to report to school even as learning enters week 3, despite the government's assurance that junior secondary education is free and compulsory, together with the 100% transition for Form 1 learners. Collins Lusweti reports about a number of students in Mathare area, Nairobi County, who are pleading for help to start their next journey in education.
Education Cabinet Secretary Ezekiel Mashogu has time and again assured the country that no learner will remain at home for lack of school fees, with government committed to ensure a 100% transition for Form 1 learners and free and compulsory education in junior secondary schools.
One thing I want to make very clear to Kenyans is that junior secondary school, as per the Kenyan Constitution, Article 53, is free and compulsory. We expect that we will have 100% transition.
However, this appears not to be the case. Reports now reveal that a good number of learners have failed to report to schools for lack of school fees and other charges demanded by schools.
Mimi ni mzazi wake Trezi Akinyi, na Trezi Akinyi hajafika shule, angefaa kuingia grade 7.
Inaniuma sababu sijaenda shule, wenzangu wako shule, na mimi bado sijaanza kusoma.
Parents say despite government's assurance of free junior secondary school education, the reality is that schools are imposing charges on a number of items such as books.
Kuna venye mtu yangu hajaingia shule junior secondary, juu kuna venye mimi sinaga job, naendanga isich, nikikaa hapo napata so 3, tunakuja tunakula. So nikienda kuulizia shule naambiwa vitabu 15, naambiwa vitu mingi.
With the world marking World Day of Social Justice today, Justice for Africa organization, together with parents and learners from Mathare area, held a peaceful march from the area to Deputy President's offices in the city center to protest the high number of students who have been unable to join grade 7 and Form 1 due to lack of school fees.
Kuna wanafunzi ambao wanafaa kuwa shule, lakini mambo ya school fees imekuwa problem sana, na tunafeel hiyo ni injustice kwa watoto wa Mathare.
Tuko na shida sana Mathare. Watoto wetu wanavuta gamu, hawaendi shule, watoto wamepotelea kwa pikipiki. Naangalia kama watoto wasichana wanafua isli na hakuna kitu inatusaidia nayo kwa maisha.
Zingine umeenda kutafuta, unapata mtoto wako amechukuliwa na mwanaume mkubwa ambaye anaenda hata miaka 50. Kwa hivyo tunaomba serikali ikaweze kutuangalia sisi watu wa Mathare.
The cries of these parents from Mathare area in Nairobi County is a demonstration of what many parents across the country are going through, casting serious doubts on the government's commitment to ensure there is a 100% transition. Collins Lusweti, TV47, Nairobi.
Thank you, Collins Lusweti, for that. Now, a new principal posted to Lumbi High School in Gem, Yala Sub-County, Siaya County, has been rejected by the community that claims he is a non-performer. The community says the incoming principal has a record of poor performance, and that was the reason why he was ejected from his previous station in Homa Bay County.
At Ulumbi High School in Siaya County, visible cracks of disunity are beginning to show. The community is here opposing the posting of a new principal to the school by the Teachers Service Commission. They claim the incoming principal has a poor record of academic performance and that they will not allow him to settle at Ulumbi.
Nimekasirika kwa ajili ya shule haifanyi vizuri.
Yes.
Shule
Hatutaki mambo, tunataka maendeleo kwa hii shule. Hatutaki biashara kwa hii shule. Mwalimu Ragonga alikuwa hapa, principal the former. Shule ilikuwa inafanya vizuri, ilikuwa inaendelea vizuri. Lakini sasa imekuwa shule haiendelee vizuri. Watoto wa perform vizuri. Sisi tumekasirika.
This school used to produce a lot of A's. There was a time when we had over 30 people going to university. Today, only 2 people or 3 people can go to university. That's not what we expect. We just buried Magoha the other day, and he's from our own location here, Yala Township. You can't expect Magoha to be buried here, and then the school on the ground is doing nothing. We cannot accept that. 2, we are not fighting the TSC's appointment. We are hearing there's somebody new coming here. We don't mind that, but we want somebody who has better record, somebody who will come and deliver. We just don't want a replacement. Somebody will come and deliver for this place.
The early morning incident brought business to a standstill at the school as the placard-waving parents and members of the local community claimed that the new principal was rejected from his previous school in Homa Bay County over non-performance.
And the whole community is not happy with that. And now the next principal that is being brought today is another mess altogether. He's a man who has gone under demonstration from the school he has come from. Yes. He's been chased from that school. In fact, the school area mates complain he only changes the vehicles from 1 million to another million, from 1 million to another million. Yes. So the community does not welcome him. We don't want him. Please look for another one. Let him go back and let us have somebody who can perform, because we are after performance in our area.
School is well equipped, but the only problem is work culture. We need a principal who will come and bring discipline in this school. You cannot expect sitting an examination, a boy and a girl sitting on the same examination room, and the girl is pregnant. That's not allowed. We cannot allow that to continue anymore. So we as the community are saying no to poor performance. No, and we will not support that again. We are not going to relent on it until when we get the right person who will replace the current principal.
The School Board of Management Chair Liz Odwol told journalists that she has received numerous complaints and threats from the community since the Teacher Service Commission announced the changes that transferred the current principal, William Oyamo, who is to be replaced by Tom Boyer from Godbear Secondary School in Homa Bay.
I have some very damning WhatsApp texts, videos, where they are even telling me that if I will go ahead and receive the incoming, they are going to handcuff me with him and take me to the regional director's office in Kisumu with him. I've spoken to the TSC director, regional level, and he told me that I should do a letter that should be passed by the board, so that we petition and we give our reasons, because we cannot just reject. So we should give our valid reasons as to why we do not want. Then he's going to reroute the person who is supposed to be coming here.
There are plans that we have discussed that we want to put into motion this year, but we need the right apparatus for that scheme to succeed.
Odwol says that the community has threatened to handcuff her together with Mboya and frog march them to the TSC offices as a sign of their disapproval of the changes. Sharon Baranga, TV 47.
Now to corridors of justice, a 62-year-old German national will remain in custody for 2 more days pending a ruling of his bond terms by the court after defiling 8 boys. The court issued the directive after he denied 14 counts relating to sexual assault against 8 boys in Bahati sub-county. The charges include defilement, sexual assault, indecent act with a child, and compelling a minor to engage in indecent acts. Chichi Josephine tells us more.
Mr. Martin Haman appeared before Nakuru Senior Resident Magistrate Emmanuel Soita to face 14 charges related to sexual assault against 8 boys. He denied all charges, which include defilement, sexual assault, indecent acts with a child, and compelling minors to engage in indecent acts. In addition, he has been accused of 2 counts of trafficking persons.
You have been charged with the offense of defilement contrary to the law. The particulars are that on diverse dates between April 2022, you intentionally and unlawfully penetrated the anus of a minor, male VK, age 17 years old.
Following the hearing, Nakuru Senior Resident Magistrate Emmanuel Soita ruled that Haman be remanded at Nakuru GK prison. The ruling states that Mr. Haman will remain in custody until Wednesday, when the magistrate will deliver a verdict on his bond application.
Issue on bail and bond ruling will be on 22nd of February 2023. That is, will be on Wednesday this week, and further directions on pre-trial.
As per the prosecution statement during the hearing, Haman has been accused of trafficking 2 young men aged 18 and 19 to Shanzu in Kilifi County on various dates between January and February 2023. The prosecution alleges that Mr. Haman committed these acts for the purpose of sexual exploitation.
I invite the court to look at the seriousness of the offences facing the accused person. We have to look at the interest of the victims, 14 of them, Your Honor, before you make your decision.
These are very serious offences, with number 13 and number 14 being transboundary offences, trafficking in person.
Chief Inspector Evelyn Mboya, who is attached to the Anti-Human Trafficking Unit of the DCI, revealed to the court that they received a complaint from the Independent Police Oversight Authority, IPOR, regarding Mr. Martin Haman's alleged plan to evade arrest and obstruct justice.
We commenced our investigations immediately, and on 13th, we got a search warrant and subsequent arrests of one Martin Haman Baumgartner.
The suspect will be arraigned again on Wednesday for a hearing. Chichi Josephine, TV47.
Now to a shocking story. Jane Mweki, a resident of Lari sub-county, is suspected of strangling her own child and dumping the body in a pit latrine. Investigating officer Elvis Onyango has requested the court for more time to complete the investigation and conduct a mental health assessment on the suspect after filing a court application against her. Meru Senior Principal Magistrate Jared Magori has granted the detectives from Lari Sub-County Police Headquarters 15 days to remand the 24-year-old Jane Mweki.
The matter in question shall be the truth and nothing else but the truth. So help me God.
As per his affidavit and application dated today, the 20th of February this year, I order that the respondent suspect be remanded at Lari Police Station for 15 days to enable the investigating officer complete his investigations.
Moving on, Somalia is making progress towards becoming the 8th member of the East African Community, EAC. However, whether or not Somalia will be admitted depends on a resolution by the Council of Ministers Summit, which is currently taking place in Bujumbura, Burundi. Have a look.
Somalia is currently getting closer to being admitted to the East African Community, EAC, as an 8th member. But its admission will depend on a resolution by the Council of Ministers Summit, which is currently underway in Bujumbura, Burundi. The 43rd ordinary session of the ministers is currently underway, with their primary focus being the consideration of a report from a verification team that visited Somalia last month. The report contains crucial information on security and their relevant matters. On Thursday, the report will be presented to the Heads of State Summit for endorsement. Somalia has been pushing for inclusion in the EAC since the Democratic Republic of Congo was admitted last year. Somalia submitted its application to join the EAC in 2012, but the application has been pending due to various reasons. But could Somali move to EAC be an end of frequent disputes between Kenya and Somalia? The admission of Somalia to the community is guided by criteria spelled out by the EAC treaty, which include acceptance of the community as set out in the treaty, adherence of universally acceptable principles of good governance, democracy, the rule of law, observance of human rights and social justice, potential contribution to the strengthening of integration within the East African region, geographical proximity to and interdependence between the country and the EAC partner states. This now means that Somalia and Kenya will have to work together economically and politically to strengthen their relationship, and this will include ending the maritime border dispute between Kenya and Somalia that has continued to rage. Earlier this month, President William Ruto visited Somalia's capital Mogadishu for a joint head of states and government summit convened by his East African counterpart Hassan Mahmoud as part of efforts to strengthen their regional security cooperation and tackle violent extremism in the region. Government spokesman retired Colonel Cyrus Oguna also played a key part in restoring diplomacy between Kenya and Somalia as he constituted a committee to examine the issue causing rifts between the two countries and thus explored diplomatic means to resolve them.
And as of now, certainly there are discussions taking place or going on to ensure that the relationships are normalized for normal socio-economic activities to be able to continue as they were before. So there is a committee that has been put in place to be able to look at those issues that are coming in between these two neighboring countries that have got a lot of history between the two of them to be addressed.
According to geographical reports, Somalia has the longest coastline of over 3,000 kilometers in Africa, linking Africa to the Arabian Peninsula, which the region can tap to increase interregional trade and improve the lives of East Africans. The drive to admit Somalia into the bloc aims at bringing under control the Horn of Africa coastline that is abundantly rich in fisheries. With Somalia set to join the EAC this year, some of Somalia's problems which raise concern including civil war, Al-Shabaab attacks, internally displaced people and refugees, issues that have always affected its neighbors too, but joining the EAC means Somalia's citizens will have freedom to move and do business across the bloc, and the country will benefit from the economic, political and social support programs of the community. In 2021, the chairperson of the African Union Commission, Moussa Faki, said that peace of the Kenya-Somali border was vital to regional stability, as he urged both the government of Kenya and Somalia to exercise restraint and engage in dialogue conformity with an intergovernmental authority on development process.
The recent tension between Somalia and Kenya, two neighboring countries, which led to the breakdown of diplomatic relations, remain a serious concern for the African Union. I would therefore like to call on the two parties to open dialogue with a view to the resumption of these relations and ask IGAD to strongly encourage them in this regard.
Norbert Oduor, TV 47.
Well, that story there by Norbert Oduor, of course, with the file footage of Siaya County. Chief of Staff Cyrus Oguna brings us to the first break in this broadcast. Don't go away, keep it here.
As you enter a new phase of life, you may seem lost until you discover the passion within.
I'm happy that MKU decided to open a branch in Malindi to make work easier for those parents who have never been away from their kids or children.
That's all the equipment that I need to study and all the facilities that I need.
Since we are one of the most beautiful and ultra-modern structure.
Join us at Mount Kenya University and Equip Africa Institute Malindi Odell Center to build your future. Intake in April for electronic learning and May for distance learning. Mount Kenya University.
Unlocking infinite possibilities.
Karibuni.
Mount Kenya.
Kaluma King Herbal Lozenges zinazo nguvu maradufu kutuliza kikohozi, vidonda vya koo na mafua. Kaluma King ni shwari.
Chika mama huyo muharifu kaiba kuku zangu, vifaranga wangu na mayai zote pia kabeba. Chika mama huyo.
Maumivu yakizidi, muone daktari.
Tricent School of Medical Health Science and Technology is a premier training institute for market-driven courses. With state-of-the-art facilities, competent and dedicated members of staff, and linkages with the medical industry, you are assured of a bright future when you study with us. Enroll today in our campuses at Juja, Nairobi West, Kisumu, and Homa Bay.
Authentic, natural, planned. Transforming. Endless benefits. Slay tea, purely Kenyan. Buy now on Jumia or Amazon.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. Now, the Wajir County government continues with the distribution of Phase 2 emergency relief food for over 600,000 people, who are in need of assistance in the county that is being hit hard by drought. Now, the drought situation is attributed to the extreme weather that has been experienced after 5 consecutive below-average rainy seasons. Now, due to the prolonged drought, the nutrition status of children and women in Buna Ward, Wajir County has worsened. These women and children are in urgent need of life-saving treatment for malnutrition. Speaking while flagging off relief food, Buna Batalu Ward MCA Adan Noor Ibrahim Abdi said the relief food will slightly help cushion the drought-hit residents.
Hii ndio the second phase ambayo tunafanya relief food. Mara ya kwanza ilikuwa 2 months ago, na sasa hii tulifanya special sittings through the governor, his request of the governor, His Excellency the Ahmed Abdullahi, and the budget, much of the budget, development budget, we have transferred to reallocated it to recurrent for the purpose of relief food and for the purpose of water and also health. For medicines.
This is an assortment of cooking oil, maize flour, and beans. The beans was given to the county government by the national government. That is 4,000 bags of beans. This is aimed at mitigating the effects of drought which we are currently facing as Wajir County. Buna sub-county has several settlements with 3,735 households which are in vulnerable need of food and water.
That we are doing everything within our means. The community are relieved from this, recurring drought.
Moving on, in recent years, it has been observed that women are underrepresented in the field of science globally compared to men. This is evident in the results of last year's KCSE exams here in the country, where out of the 1,146 students who scored an A grade, only 271 were girls. Now, the male gender dominated the science subjects with the best performance. The disparity is concerning, and there is need for universities and lecturers to make a concerted effort to encourage more women to pursue science studies. To shed more light on this issue, our reporter Nicholas Mbai spoke to women who are currently studying science subjects in universities, colleges, and technical institutions. Have a look.
STEM fields encompassing science, technology, engineering, and the mathematics are crucial to our modern way of life. However, for many years, this field have been dominated by men. Despite this, there have been a number of highly accomplished women who have made significant contribution to STEM and gained recognition and wealth as usual.
Well, the mentality that engineering is for men, so then they lack somehow an empowerment. There are a lot of mathematics, there are a lot of what, and those things who wanaogopa ku engage into.
Nilichoose hiyo course kwa sababu unapata the founders wa Facebook, Twitter, Instagram wote ni men. So 5 years to come, I want the ladies to be one of them.
At Scott Christian University, we met Juliet Kioko, one of the few female students pursuing a degree in technology studies. Juliet is currently working towards a bachelor's degree in information technology, a field that has traditionally been dominated by men.
Recent world now is more based on technology, including the hospitals, schools, the institutions all over the world are more based on technology, and that's why I chose the course. Commonly, I face challenges like wanting to know more, but we find that the boys already know it. Challenge, like it's only based on boys. So to me, it's a challenge, like only boys are meant to do it.
However, the story is quite different for students like Lynette Katwiri and many of our colleagues. For them, science lesson can feel like a daunting and frustrating experience.
I chose the course because, honestly speaking, maths and me has been a two-way path. I don't love maths like at all, and it comes from mentality, and community mobilization does not have so much mathematics, so it's much easier for me who does not have interest in maths.
The underrepresentation of women in science-related courses is a persistent issue, and it is not different at Machakos Institute of Technology.
Here I have 38 students, and of which they are male. Don't have even one girl, and the reason I think they don't take the engineering course, it is that mentality they have that engineering is hard, and of which they can try themselves, and it is possible for them to do the electrical course, because since they say that what a man can do, they can do better, so they can still try and take an engineering course, and of which they get to have skills and they can able to employ themselves in future.
The lack of diversity in STEM field is a persistent challenge, is amplified by the situation at this institute. In the first year of the mechanical engineering program, all the TEAD students are male. There isn't a single female student among them.
Actually, we don't feel okay because it will be much better for us and more comfortable if we see them next to us doing this course. So it somehow brings a sense of equilibrium in this field. But now there's nothing we can do about it, but maybe the only encouragement is maybe they can be encouraged to do the courses.
Male students seem to be very lonely in these studies.
Yeah, we feel lonely because we are just men. There are some things you need to consult a lady, you see. So, and also there's that company. Yes, and it's also encouraged that you can even have a friend who is a lady, and it's good also to get in the same field.
While the underrepresentation of women in STEM field remains a challenge, there are some bright spots of progress. At Machakos Institute of Technology, for example, there is a notable difference in the gender balance of students studying applied laboratory science.
I can see in this laboratory science courses, many ladies they have passion on that course than men. So ladies feel that course, laboratory science courses, is much better for them.
The gender disparity in STEM field remains a significant challenge, with vast majority of the female students dominating the world of science. This gap between the two genders is a concerning issue, as it limits the potential for diverse perspectives and innovative solutions in science and technology.
Somehow ladies have not dominated the STEM courses simply because maybe they are not empowered, especially on mathematical courses, because sciences are related to mathematical courses. And we have tried our best to empower ladies to prefer the STEM courses because they will have an edge or they will have an advantage over their male counterparts. So in a way, we are guiding them. We have career guidance to guide them in order to embrace or take STEM courses in a positive.
As the gap continues to widen between male and female students taking science-related courses, all professionals, now stakeholders are calling more women to enroll for science-related courses to bridge the gap between male and female in science. Nicholas Mbai, TV47, Machakos County.
Well, thank you, Nicholas Mbai, for that. Now, more than 12,000 farmers from the counties of Siaya and Busia are expected to benefit from the 3.8 billion shillings Lower Nzoia irrigation project funded by the World Bank. The project has been delayed since its commission in 2017 due to a land compensation project. Speaking to the press during the visit, the National Irrigation Authority Chair Joshua said the project will not only address issues of food security but also control floods within the Bunyala area. The project is expected to be completed by the end of September.
It's going to be a game changer in Siaya County where we have a lot of poverty because our farmers will engage in income generating activities like growing horticultural crops, tomatoes, and other vegetables.
Giving ourselves time now to continue inspecting the project, solving the problems that are there jointly with the county commissioner and the ministry headquarters, so that we can be able to facilitate the contractor to work. The session is ongoing. Our irrigation engineers and agronomists, they are already on the ground sensitizing the farmers on the need to be ready to farm when the water starts flowing.
Well, time now for another very short break. When we come back, my colleague Dennis Otieno will be bringing us the latest from the world of sports.
Next episode of The Realtor.
My name is Esther Njenga. I am an architect, a graduate architect. I design, plan, and supervise construction of buildings for a living. We are all used to male engineers, male architects, male everything in the construction industry. But the minute you're a woman, people want to listen. They want to hear what's different about you.
Tuesday, 6:30 p.m.
Usiyakubalie maumivu ya misuli kukatiza ratiba yako. Kaluma Pain Balm ni dawa ya kusugua iliyotengenezwa kutoka kwa miche maalum ili kutuliza maumivu ya misuli. Kaluma Pain Balm. Shhh. Maumivu yakizidi, pata ushauri wa daktari.
It's a new season. Gathered for one reason.
We have looked at Pan-Africanism as a way to unite all of us.
Climate change is the one that's affecting our marine lives.
Debate.
Tell me, if we did not borrow, where would we be?
What does GMO offer? It offers longer shelf life for these foods.
Devolution was not a one-man army that was going to come here and take us by storm all on its own.
Young people drawn from across hundreds of schools in the country. The battle of minds. This is the debate cycle. Coming soon on TV 47.
A very warm welcome to Primetime Sports. My name is Dennis Otieno. Now let's start off with matters the Safari Rally. Now, the Ministry of Sports is targeting to reduce the amount allocated for sponsoring the World Rally Championship Safari Rally by half ahead of this year's event slated for June 22nd to 25th this year. Now, this year's event slated for June 22nd to 25th. Now, according to Sports Cabinet Secretary Ababu Namwamba, channeling 2.6 billion shillings in last year's event was wasteful, as he stated that his current local organizing and steering committee can successfully host the event with a leaner budget. CS Namwamba stated that his office is working closely with the Auditor General of Kenya, Nancy Gathongo, to review the utilization of last year's funding within 60 days. CS Namwamba was speaking during the unveiling ceremony of the 2023 Safari Rally Local Organizing and Steering Committee led by Carl Flash Tundo and Phineas Kimathi.
As part of the style of this new administration, we want to see value for money in this rally. That is critically important. We want to see value for money. Every shilling, every cent that government places in this rally, we want to see where it is going and what it's doing. Cut out unnecessary spending. You know that this administration has had to make very difficult austerity measures, including a budget cut of 300 billion shillings in this fiscal cycle of 2022-2023.
This year, we will spend less than 10% of what we spent in 2019 for our candidate event and 2021 and 22 for our rally, in form of bringing expatriates from Europe to help us run the event. This year, we will be running the event at 97% as Kenyans, as local people.
It has taken such a long time for Kenya to get back to the World Rally Championships calendar, and we can only wait and see how that review of the budget of the Safari Rally is going to pan out. Well, it is a situation that we're yet to see how it is going to turn around. But moving on to matters golf, the Sports Cabinet Secretary Ababu Namwamba earlier today joined the golf stakeholders in the country to launch the Magical Kenya Open Golf Tournament at the Muthaiga Golf Club. With only 15 days remaining to kick off the prestigious golf event in the country, the global tournament has attracted 158 golfers, which include 6 amateurs, 8 local and 2 regional golfers selected from the Safari Tour Golf Series, among other international golfers. During the launch, Magical Kenya Open Tournament received a major boost of 70 million shillings from Absa Bank. Speaking during the launch, Sports Cabinet Secretary Ababu Namwamba said they are expecting that this year's event will be better than the last edition, adding that the Safari Tour Golf Tournaments should not only be a build-up to the Magical Kenya, but should be in the golf map as one of the biggest tournaments.
This year's field will consist of 156 players. That include 6 amateurs, 8 local players, and 2 regional players selected from the Safari Tour, as well as selection of 6 other invited players. We expect at least 15,000 spectators here at Muthaiga.
Indeed, this is one of the biggest international events, sporting events, we host as a country, Kenya, and we are very proud for it to come here every single year. I'd like to challenge the federation that as we are bringing the world to Kenya, we are also thinking of ways to consistently develop our local talent. Our young golfers, young boys and girls, as well as our professional golfers, so that we also give them a chance to compete worldwide and globally in this renowned game of sport.
And the hosting of this event is clear demonstration of the confidence the organizers of the DP World Tour have in our beautiful country and its ability to host events of this kind of pedigree. This is also a confirmation of their confidence in our golf courses and architectural setup that meets the prerequisites of international standards.
And still on matters golf, Kenyan golfer Steve Orinda, who is a student at Tufts University in South Africa, emerged as the overall gross winner of the inaugural University Golf Day after carding a score of 73 gross at the VetLab Sports Club. Meanwhile, the overall net prize was won by Kevin Kabogi from Strathmore University, who played 68 net, while Faith Ontune from Egerton University played 83 gross to emerge the winner in the girls category. The boys category was won by Lee Kimathi, who played 80 gross, while Alfred Nduati won the net prize with a score of 72 net, beating Elvis Koech and Clive Otieno on countback. The event was held by the Kenya Golf Union in collaboration with the Vet Lab Sports Club and universities, as well as colleges, in a bid to develop and promote growth of collegiate golf.
The putter grip, the putter shaft, and the putter head. Any stroke that you're making on the ball.
We started this agenda at Strathmore University. We really wanted to see a golf club take off at our university, and it was in line with the Kenya Golf Union's agenda to promote university golf in Kenya. So, all in all, we were able to come together as a university students, and come up with a constitution that would be able to guide our internal procedures. And all in all, throughout that whole period of time, we were able to build some sort of brotherhood and sisterhood. It saw us practice together. It saw us make new friends.
We hope to see that more of our students can come together and practice and learn to play golf together, and eventually participate in league matches amongst universities in Kenya.
Mombasa County leaders have emphasized their commitment to supporting sports in the county and helping the youth in the area realize their full potential in sports. The leaders, led by Iala Member of Parliament Suleiman Shabal and Mombasa County Land Chief Executive Commissioner Mohamed Hussein, assured residents that together with the area governor Abdul Somad Sharif Nasir, they will recover all grabbed sports grounds and better the facilities. The leaders were speaking during a football match between Mombasa United, formed and sponsored by Shabal and comprises of players from all the sub-counties in Mombasa, and Wanayuki, who are the Division 2 League winners at the Serrani grounds.
Na sisi kama county government tutahakikisha every new scheme inayokuja tuweke public utilities mahali viwanja watoto waweze kucheza, maana najua vingi vimenyakuliwa. Tutajaribu kurejesha vile vilivonyakuliwa, lakini skimu mpya zinazokuja tutahakikisha tumeweka places za viwanja ili watu waweze kucheza, na tutashirikiana na Wizara ya Michezo ili tuweze kuendeleza vipaji vyetu
na kuform team ya Mombasa United. Sisi kama viongozi tutaisupport team na tutampa pia support tupate kuinua talent zetu ndani ya Mombasa. Asanteni.
Ilikuwa mara ya kwanza kwa team Mombasa United imetoka kucheza na imecheza na Wananyuki, na kama mnavyojua Wananyuki ndio walioshinda league mwaka huu na walishinda Division 2. Na hii mara ya kwanza kwa Mombasa United wamecheza na wameshindwa kwa penalties tu. So sisi tumefurahi sana kwa hii timu iliyotoka Mombasa nzima, iliyoanza na timu 128 ndio tumemalizana na wachezaji wa 24. Na tumeongea na viongozi